The first thing you do when you teach somebody to shoot is build their confidence up. It doesn't make any difference whether it's the easiest dustbin lid that sits in front of you. If somebody hits their first clay, they're going to go away, and they're going to go away with a smile on their face. If you hurt somebody within shooting that clay, they're never going to come back again. And you as the instructor, that's your fault. You haven't done your job right. So that's what I'm hopefully going to show you how we do and what we do here and why we teach so many people to shoot a year. We've got Tom, which is new to the Oxford Gun Company. He's just joined us. He's going to be looking after and coming on in the shop and sort of learning the ropes really.
TSC is brought to you with support from Sabati Guns from Range Right, CCI Clays, Yieldits Guns, Ely Cartridges, Browning Guns, Bowman Traps, Breeden School, and Charles Stanley Wealth Management.
So the first thing you say to them is they come in and they've booked an hour's lesson. And you say, what is the hour's lesson for? Is it for game shooting? Is it for clay shooting? Is it for is it a new lesson somebody's never shot before? So you've established basically by now, by the time you walk from where you've picked them up to down to that first stand, you've established what they want to do. You've established what they want to achieve out of that lesson. And safety is the most important thing with whatever it is, whether it's game shooting, clay shooting, whatever. So the first thing you do is you give them a pair of glasses and you give them a pair of earphones, ear defenders. And we always give them a vest because you've got it's here, you've got your patches here, so when you're mounting the gun, it goes up easily. So, but we give, whether they're a game shooter, so if they're on that lesson purely to learn to shoot game, we will give them something like a tweed vest, or whether they're a new shooter or a clay shooter, we will give them something like a sealant vest or something like that. So different clientele, different things to wear. But the one thing that is the same is safety. So when that gun is in that slip, you show them it's always carried that way up, like that. Right? That is about the best way you're going to carry the gun. You've got your vest on, you've got your headphones on, you've got your cap if somebody would like it. I personally don't like wearing caps, so I'll come back to that when you're shooting. I'll come back to that at a later date. But you've got your cap if they want it, you've got your glasses, and you've got your slip. First most important thing, the gun comes out the slip, it opens to there. The gun comes out to its action, which is this silver piece. And I happen to have a Browning 725 Sporter at the time. You push the top lever across so everyone can see it's empty. The gun comes out, right? Most safest way. When the gun goes back into the slip, goes back into there, close the gun up, there. Perfectly safety. What you don't want to be seeing is that, because I know that's empty, but you don't know that's empty. So the gun, whatever happens, that gun is always open at all times. At most shooting school, you've got a rack. The first most important thing is the gun is closed to the sky and the gun goes into the rack. It's always stock down, barrel up, trigger guard facing out. When it comes out, break the gun there. When you get onto the stand, you're talking to the client. First thing you've already established that he's left or right-handed. You get your cartridge bag. You put the instructor. When we first start, the client doesn't have access to those cartridges because if he hasn't got a license, or if you've got a group of people, you've got control. The instructor always has to have control. Whatever happens, that instructor's got control, and he feeds the client the cartridges. At a decent shooting school, you will go up and you will have a rail. At a gun club or competition ground, you will have a cage. And that cage is there, and you are the only one in that cage. Nobody else is allowed in that cage. At a shooting school, the reason why you've either got a rail or you've got a big cage is so that instructor can move around you, depending where he is. And then you show them, first thing, calm them down, relax, make them smile, make them laugh, make them enjoy it. Show them the first target. So, Tom, can I just have a look at that incomer? So you show them the target. And that's what we're going to shoot with first. Nice and basic, straightforward target. You start with the gun just above the top of the bank, let the clay get right up to the top of the arc, look at the bottom edge of that target, pull the trigger. And that is all we're going to do to start with. So feet. So I always say toes on the line. Most of the stands at the Oxford Gun Company have got a line. Take you half a pace forward. So you've got 12 to quarter past 2 o'clock. And the reason why that is 2 o'clock is if you watch my shoulder and my foot comes back even further, takes my shoulder away. So that's where you have, when you see clients come in and have a bruise down their arm, that's why. So it's got to be, your feet are pointing where you pull that trigger. Right? Cartridge in the gun. Now the first most important thing is you hear everyone saying, close the gun up to there, or close the gun to there. But if you're on a game shoot and there's a dog's running about and you've got dogs here, you're going to shoot your dog. You don't know where that dog is. In the heat in the moment, when you've got lots of pheasants, lots of things flying, you're going to do that. You don't know that dog's moved. Or if there's beaters or flaggers out there, you don't know if that flaggers. So if I pull the trigger there, it's going to go straight into that flagger. Or even when you're clay shooting, you've got those traps out there. There's thousands of pounds worth of kit out there. Last thing you want to do is shoot straight into one of those. So the most important thing is you close the gun into your line of view, where you're looking. Right? So the angle starts like that. And the other reason why you don't do that, you try getting that gun in your shoulder. Doesn't go in. Your head's back here. When you close the gun up into your line of view, you push it away, touch your cheek. And you've got an angle created by your jawbone and your cheekbone. Gun is empty, right? That angle fits onto there. So the whole of my eyeball is rising just above that rib, right? Earphone on, close the gun up into my line of view. Now from there, you push it away, touch your cheek. All my weight is on the ball of my front foot, and I brake for my waist. My leg isn't bent, I brake for my waist, right? So, and the most important thing why you lean forward is if I'm stood flat-footed and that gun goes off, bang, head's off the gun, weight's on the back of the foot. If I stood forward and the gun goes off, all it does is rock me back. So that is the most important thing, is you close your gun into your line of view, push it away, touch your cheek. And then you call pull, pull. So that is the basics way of how to do it. So let's go through that again. Cartridge in, close the gun up, pull. Pull. And that's your basic way of learning to shoot.